What up?
What's going on?
Uh, I've had a crazy 36 hours, but I'm here.
The Celtics number 24 and 33 in this draft for final.
What the fuck are they doing?
Okay, Woj, you will get the pick.
They traded the number 20 pick.
Yeah, for more draft picks. They already had 3 first-round picks. The fuck did you need another draft pick for?
I don't know.
Of course it's picking all my wrong fucking shit. I don't know why now. Every time I pick the wrong. It's really goddamn annoying now. But I'll bet you the recorder started last night before. Alright. Troy, you haven't said a damn thing. Is your audio working or?
I just was enjoying the show.
Okay. I was making sure we're not going to have fucking. I'm a little sensitive after last night, I guess.
Did you check your settings on this one?
I just did, yeah. Well, and I just restarted the Skype recorder. I wanted to get everyone talking so I could make sure everyone's voice comes through on it.
Gotcha.
So, Sal, if I can say something.
Say something.
When I say something, if you go for that joke, then you say something. You don't say something.
I know.
Because he didn't say something.
Right.
Like I said, I've had a hell of a 36 hours, man. Lay off today, please.
Alright.
Fucking say something. Say something.
Alright, so links are up and shared. Embed is up. I think my computer is working now. Fingers crossed, maybe?
Any idea what happened?
It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it just, I don't know. I was working on Blue Fist last night, and I finished it, and then I went online, and when I went to my drive, it said I was offline, and I was like, I'm not offline, I'm listening to music right now through my computer.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it froze. Then I couldn't get it to restart. I tried a couple times, and I fucking gave up. And I was like, well, it's fine. Bluefist it wasn't going to be going up that night anyways. But yeah, so it took me a couple times, and I think I've got it going now. So hopefully it stays that way.
Do you think it's like a storage issue or something?
I think it's,
you running out of space?
I think it's just all computers tend to get, shit wrong with them and stuff like that. So I don't know. I probably need to do a little bit more work on it to make sure it doesn't happen again. But right now, that's where I'm at. So
Got it.
alright. Jesus fucking Christ.
What's that?
Fucking Brewers. They're on a holy fucking shitstorm on a tear right now. They can't seem to do anything right now.
A tear is usually when you're going well. Just
Yeah,
so you know.
sorry. They're on a what's the opposite of holy tear? They're on
A downward spiral?
Yeah. Yeah. I assume you're listening back to make sure that we're okay, because you're making a
Yep.
big face.
No, we're good.
Okay.
So what happened to that Bobo dude? He just dropped?
Well, he missed a lot of his season. First off, he's really thin. Like, really.
Well, so is his father.
Right, but it's a different NBA game. It's bigger, stronger,
That's
faster
true.
now.
That's true.
He can shoot the fucking lights out, but he's also 7 feet now with a foot injury. So,
Yeah.
Greg Oden? No. That was his knees. I'm kidding.
No, because he's not being taken very high, so he'll probably drop to. He might be a really good pickup in the second round because I could see some comparisons between him and Thon Maker. because Thon Maker was very
Yeah.
thin to begin with as well. I mean, Giannis was thin too when he first started out and bulked up.
He's a better shooter than Thon is, though.
Yeah, very much so. So
Do you guys remember when Durant got drafted? He was like paper.
Oh, it's a rail thing,
yeah, yeah. So I think that he could be a very good rotation guy. You know, on a shitty team, he might even be a starter. But I mean, he's got a long way to go, and his style of game just isn't what the NBA does anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Well, the Celtics also now have 22, 24, and 33. So
He might be
if
one of those, yeah.
yeah.
If the word around the office there is that he was going to fall that far, then Boston it makes sense for them to turn around and take, Langston, and then, or Langford, sorry, and then wait until one of their later picks to take Ball if that's who they want.
I was hoping Tyler Harrow, but he went right before they picked.
He went to Miami, yeah.
Brandon Clark is up there, but I think he's about to go to Memphis because OKC just traded their pick to Memphis, and I think they traded up for Brandon Clark. But Nasir Little is still out there, who I like.
Yeah, I was
He was projected at like 12 in some mock drafts, and now he's still sitting there at 22. That might be too much talent at that point to pass up,
Right.
Dude, the Hawks fucking made out, huh?
Kevin Porter Jr. is another guy I like with one of those late picks. He's fucking head case, but he's talented as fuck. So,
Oh, I heard about him. They did an ESPN special on him a couple nights ago.
Keldon Johnson's another guy I'm a little surprised has fallen this far, but yeah, Bol, Nasir Little, or Kevin Porter are the guys I want. And they got 3 picks, so let's fucking get it.
Well, the Bucks have the very last pick in the draft, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe Ethan Happ.
Hey, I was going to ask you, do you think they
Nobody
give
cares
Middleton...
about the last pick of the NBA draft. They're not going to be the team. So
Hey, Manu was a second-round pick, man. Shit happens.
no,
Isaiah Thomas was literally the last pick of the NBA draft,
Yeah.
so
no. I mean, it takes a lot of pressure.
not the first round, the entire draft.
Right. The Bucks just traded away Tony Schnell and cleared a bunch of cap space. So I'm assuming that they're going to turn around and pay Middleton.
Pay Middleton max money?
Are you gonna max out Middleton though?
I mean, what else are you going to do?
That seems like a serious overpay to me.
So it doesn't sound like they're going to max him out. It sounds like about $28 million is what they were looking at.
Well, that's smart. They can get him for that, then yeah, do it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard that they were going to have to offer a max because other teams were willing to. So
Well, other teams.
Yeah, but
other teams are willing to, but he sounded like he was going to sign for less than max to stay in Milwaukee. So
and besides, other teams can't offer him as much as Milwaukee. So if it's 20 mil in, Phoenix or 20 mil in Milwaukee, then stay in Milwaukee.
see,
no. So that's a mistake.
Other
That's a
teams
mistake.
other teams could offer him $30 million.
Oh,
They just can only offer 4 years.
4
instead of
years.
5,
Yeah.
Got it.
which also gets him back on the free agent market sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the other side of that.
No, it makes total sense for him to go elsewhere.
Hey, guess what, Sal? The Celtics can pay Kyrie more too.
Yeah.
Well, there was a nice little idea being thrown around that the Celtics and Kyrie can make each other happy one last time by doing a sign and trade. I don't
Okay.
see it.
Okay,
But-
hold on. Here's the thing. Couple problems with that. You have to really sort of understand the way the NBA salary cap works to get that. So first thing is, the Nets are in the Celtics division. Why the fuck would they help them out?
I didn't hear the Nets though if they were going to do a sign and trade, but
No, Brooklyn. He's going to the Nets. Is what all the reports
The
say.
other thing, they have
Second-
to actually
second
be able
off-
to afford him in order to trade him.
Well, second off, he becomes a base year compensation player, which means you're not trading him on a per year basis value like you do other players. You're trading him for the value of the contract, which
okay.
changes the other thing it does, and a lot of people don't realize this. When you do a sign and trade, it puts you at a hard cap.
yeah. Well,
It
that
takes
makes
away
sense.
the soft cap for your team for that season. You become a hard capped team, which is not. Which, by the way, if you're Brooklyn and you're trying to squeeze in 2 max salary guys, you do not want to be hard capped.
Right.
So sign and trade ain't happening with Brooklyn.
Well, see, that's what I get for listening to a Herald beat writer. So,
To be fair, honestly, like you have to really I probably more of a salary cap nerd than I should be, but you have to sort of understand the NBA salary cap's a bitch. Like,
No, that I know enough about it for the fact that Danny has to fuck with it every year. So,
well, for example, had the Rose Rule not existed, Kyrie's probably already staying, and Anthony Davis is already a Celtic. Yeah. That rule fucked them last year, hard.
Oh, because they could offer more after the season ended.
No. They are not allowed to have two guys who signed max extensions under the rookie deal and then were traded to them at the same time.
So that's why their hands were tied. They couldn't do anything at the deadline.
They couldn't do anything until they re-signed Kyrie. And they couldn't do anything in terms of because they wanted to save all their assets for Anthony Davis, thinking Kyrie was coming back. So the whole, like, I said this, I think I said to you guys, like, they literally shit could not, like, everything that could go wrong for them went wrong for them. Wow. From the second Gordon Hayward broke his leg, because then you had Jason Tatum on the come up faster than he expected, so now he expects more than he gets, which sort of was part of the reason they had a little conflict, because he was a little more playing time, that Hayward's playing time ate into his. If Hayward's a star, that fucking Sacramento was not supposed to be this fucking good this year. This pick was supposed to be much higher than 14.
Yeah.
Like, everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Speaking of everything,
the Lakers getting the number 4 pick in the fucking draft. It was supposed to be like 16.
I know.
Or whatever, 10, whatever it was.
Speaking of everything that can go wrong, do you remember the infamous chicken and beer season with the Red Sox a few years ago?
Yes.
Supposedly, that's what we're going to be getting over the next couple weeks with stories about the Celtics coming out. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard today.
I mean, I've already heard the story of Hayward. Oh, Hayward and Kyrie hate each other, and it's like, I mean, Hayward, Horford and Kyrie hate each other, and it's like Horford wasn't leaving until it became clear that Kyrie was leaving. So
why would that play into it?
Hard time buying that. The thing that bothers me is I try to avoid sports talk radio, but I did hear a little bit of it, and there was that story. I don't know if you heard the story about the Brad Stevens thing.
With
basically, like, Kyrie walks into practice, and Brad is like, "Hey, good morning," and Kyrie doesn't say good morning. He's just like, "What does government mean to you?" And it's just, he's like, that's the kind of shit that, like, it was one of those things where he didn't ask the question because he wanted to know my answer. He asked the question because he had an answer that he wanted to talk about. Like, but, and it's like, oh, he went off on this whole thing, and it's just sort of the shit that they do. The problem is, like, the people ripping Kyrie for that are this. It's sort of approaching, shut up and dribble territory. It's like, okay, so he's a thinker. He likes to talk about fucking shit that he finds important. Like, he's not allowed to be a thinker outside. Like, he's one of the, he strikes me as one of those very fake intellectuals.
Yeah,
like, he reads a lot of shit and watches a lot of shit on YouTube and thinks he knows a lot about shit, but he actually doesn't. Whoa. Which is how you end up being a flat earther in the first place.
I was just gonna say that.
So,
yeah, he also fired his agent, the guy he's had since the representation he's had since Duke. Yeah. So
did you hear who he signed with?
Jay-Z's Rockefeller.
Yeah. He's not going to Brooklyn at all.
Well, still could include the Knicks in there, but we'll see.
Dude, this is why I get fucking. I love when everybody goes asshole crazy every year that the Knicks have all this cap space. Nobody wants to play for the Knicks. They never sign a free agent.
That's true.
And they won't while Dolan's there.
That's because any free agent they sign is going to be shipped out in a trade the next year anyways. Like, the team doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, I was going to say, the one thing they had for the past couple of years was Porzingis, and they shipped him out of fucking town.
But they had how many lottery picks before that? They got lucky.
Oh, yeah.
They got lucky that dude was as good, and then they turned around, they fucking traded him. Now, it might be because of the fact that he's a rapist, but, that's...
Maybe.
Something.
Maybe.
Maybe they weren't exactly lucky, but yeah, no. It's clear that the GM there has no fucking clue what he's doing. So yeah, no free agent's going to be like, I'm going to go and play for the team that can't fucking get their heads up their asses.
Let us not forget, this is the team that drafted Tim Hardaway Jr., traded Tim Hardaway Jr., then signed Tim Hardaway Jr. back to a max level contract,
and now,
and then traded Tim Hardaway Jr. again.
Ugh.
Anyways, let's get the show on the road.
Before we start the show,
Oh,
there
my.
is at the bottom of my Skype screen, on Jason's screen, it says speakers muted with the little line going through the sound icon. Is that on my end, or
Everyone
is that
can,
just because it...
everyone can hear you,
Okay.
and you can hear all of us. So
Okay.
it's something on your end, something weird on your end.
And you were on my Skype recording, so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Alright.
I don't know what you're seeing.
Should we Audacity just to be safe?
We can. I don't mind throwing it up. Unless you think it's going to, like, affect the internet stuff or something.
I don't know with mine.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Right now, we have YouTube as a backup as well.
Ah, yes. Which we don't have for Revisited or other shows.
Yeah. As long as it's not my computer that takes a shit in the middle of this, then we always can rip the audio off the YouTube live stream.
Grant Williams, who the fuck? What the fuck?
All right, so
Grant fucking Williams?
so this
Who's
is gonna,
Grant Williams?
so this is
Exactly.
gonna be how this episode goes. Okay.
Power forward from Tennessee. You got fucking guys projected at 12 still sitting there at fucking 20. You're wasting time on this. You know what the thing is? Every time I get fired up about a pick fucking Danny Makes that I don't like, that guy turns out to be good. I didn't like Jalen Brown either. So, but fuck. Hopefully I'm wrong.
I was going to say, maybe they see something in the chart that you don't see because you're
No,
not
it's
privy to it.
possible. It's entirely possible. But I'm curious as to where this dude was projected to go.
29th.
Is that what it was?
No, I'm just joking. I'm just fucking with you. Just let me know when you're ready for us to do our show.
Oh, go ahead. I can look this up.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rundown Wrestling Podcast, unintentionally offensive wrestling podcast. I am your host, Troy. Jesus Christ. With me today, at least in part, Jason is here.
39. Yeah. I'm here. It's NBA draft night, and my team is shitting the bed on the draft. So I'm a little frustrated, but so let's fucking talk about some wrestling, because it's going to be bothering me less than what's going on in Brooklyn tonight. So cool. Let's do it.
All right. Also here tonight, Sal.
What's up, Troy and Jason?
How we doing? So before we get into the episode proper, Jason, why don't you tell us what people could be doing right fucking now?
I'm jerking off. Oh, you mean if they're watching us on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. That.
Oh, you gotta be more specific.
Oh, sorry.
If you're watching us on YouTube, you can look at the right-hand side of your screen. You will see a little chat box, or if you're on mobile, I think it's underneath. It's called the Smathers Lounge for our particular uses. You can go in there. You can say whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want. You can play with whatever you want. We ain't here to judge. But if you type anything in there, we'll read it on the show. We'll let you know what we think about it. You can share your thoughts with the show, and we'll share our penises with you.
All right.
I mean, thoughts, penis, something like that. I don't know.
Penai, whatever. All right, so let's get into this episode proper by talking about some dudes. So we had round 2 of the Hottest Male Tournament. A big one this week is we had 16 matchups. So we're just going to go ahead and
That's a lot of dicks.
It's a lot of dicks. At least 30.
Well, 16. Who are the two that don't have dicks?
I said at least 30. I wasn't saying that I knew for sure 2 doesn't have dicks. I'm just saying there's a margin of error there.
I mean, because if they didn't have dicks, that might skew the voting if people knew about that. Just saying.
Right, which is why we didn't let anyone know if they don't have dicks.
Yeah.
So, because of the fact that we got so many, we're just going to go ahead and go right through the results here before we get into what our third round matchups are. Our first matchup, Roman Reigns versus Cousin Jimmy Uso. With 80% of the votes, Roman Reigns moves on.
Oh,
Then we have
rough for the Usos.
Then Then we have guys with 8 letters in their names. Tony Nese versus John Cena. with with 62% of the votes, Tony Nese moves on.
Oh my God, the premier athlete just beat Ernest.
Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley, and with 74% of the votes, Xavier Woods moves on.
Wait,
That's
the
right.
almighty lost. Wow.
Yeah, well, people don't like him. Tyler Breeze versus Bobby Roode, and with 65% of the votes, Tyler Breeze advances.
Not my Tyler Breeze.
Drew McIntyre.
Was I wrong about that?
Nope, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay, that it just very much struck me yesterday watching him in the ring with the other two guys.
I mean, this isn't even like the first run NXT Tyler Breeze. This is like Mike Dalton area of his fucking.
Yeah, there it is. That is.
So, I had to go back myself and look when he said it. I was like, why is he wearing that? Like, where did he even get it from? Anyways, Drew McIntyre versus Elias with 68% of the votes. Drew McIntyre moves on. And we had Daddy Dash Wilder versus Mike Kanellis, and with 76% of the votes, Dash Wilder advances. We had the Russian hotness Randy Orton versus EC3, and with 73% of the votes, the Viper.
Because the other guy has a fucking number in his name.
That's right. Seth Rollins took on Ali, and Seth Rollins took home 66% of the votes. Then we had Rick O'Shea versus Cesaro. Now, I don't know if Ricochet's penchant for sticking fingers in his ass had anything to do with this result. But with 55% of the votes, Cesaro advances.
You are the rumor starter, man. You got Ginger believing that that's really him.
How do you not believe that that's him? It's his fucking tattoo. You can
Didn't see his face.
So?
You didn't see Tony Storm's face in her video either.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
But you know how you could tell it was Tony Storm? Because they're fucking hand tattoo. You could tell it was Ricochet because he's got a very fucking gigantic fucking titty tattoo and arm tattoo that matches directly.
Could have been The Rock.
True.
Sheamus took on Humberto Carrillo, and with 57% of the votes, Sheamus advances.
Wow, apparently
Wow.
the ladies like the translucency.
I
Okay.
don't
Apparently.
understand it myself, but sure. Budrick Murphy took on Sami Zayn,
Battle the redheads.
and winning by just one vote,
Whoa.
Sami Zayn moves on.
Wow.
Because he does stuff for people in third world countries.
Hey man,
It's got a fun personality.
yeah.
Sure.
The Miz took on Apollo Crews, and with 69% of the votes, the Miz moves on.
I hope the reality star can beat Apollo Crews.
Finn Balor took on Adolf Ziggler, and with 91% of the votes,
Oh, wow.
Finn Balor moves on. Batista took on Carl Anderson, with 54% of the votes. Batista moves on.
They all know Batista's like 58, right?
Doesn't matter, man. He's in great shape.
Batista does not have a hot Asian wife.
No.
That's right?
Andrade took on Dean Ambrose, and with 56% of the votes, I finally can stop Googling Dean Ambrose, because Andrade moves on.
Nice, thank God.
Here we
And
go.
our
Now
final
we've
match.
got actual WWE people in the WWE tournament.
That's right. And our final matchup of the round, Fandango took on Zack Ryder, and with 62% of the votes, Zack Ryder's taking his bald spot home. Fandango moves on.
I was going to say, Jesus.
So it's, Fandango.
Or Johnny Curtis, whatever.
Whatever you want. It's still Fandango. So, round 3. You can go right now to runonwrestling.com and vote for these 8 matchups. In round 3, we have Roman Reigns versus Tony Nese. Ironically, best friends Xavier Woods versus Tyler Breeze. Drew McIntyre versus Daddy Dash Wilder. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins.
Oh.
The Bar.
Randy Orton.
Randall. The Bar face each other as Cesaro takes on Sheamus.
Ooh.
Sami Zayn versus The Miz.
Oh,
Finn Balor versus Batista. And,
oh, that's it for Dave.
and Andrade versus Fandango.
That's interesting.
Again, you can head there right now to rundownwrestling.com and vote. Come on. There it is. Sorry, my app didn't update, and I was missing a couple of main event topics or perfect 10 topics. And speaking of the perfect 10, it's the perfect 10. We start things off by talking about how freakishly strong Cesaro is. So we had a it was 4 people, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. A 4-person match to decide who was going to be taking on Joey Samoa at the at WWE's Foot Fetish.
5.
Which
It was 5
did I miss
people.
Five,
something?
sorry, yeah,
Did they at any point prior to this say it was single elimination, or did they just decide that as the match started? Because I don't remember ever hearing that.
I swear to God, they decided it like mid-match. They were just like, we're just gonna do more pins. Sure.
No, they said it as soon as the match started, but that was the first time that they said it. Because
I didn't catch it then.
Oh,
I
Cole-
must have fucking.
Cole said it was single elimination, yeah. So Cesaro, Braun Strowman, Rick O'Shea, The Miz, and who else was it? McIntyre? No.
No.
Braun Strowman, The Miz. Oh, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they faced off to see who was going to go on. Now, Ricochet winds up getting the win here, but the big thing I wanted to talk about was Cesaro just straight fucking picking Braun Strowman up and slamming him. Like, the guy doesn't look like he should be that strong.
Why? I mean, he did it to the Big Show. Why the fuck
Right.
is this?
I know, but I know he did it to the Big Show, and that's what I'm saying is the guy continues to be a fucking freak. He's a mutant. Like, I don't know.
He's a fucking cyborg because regardless of his feats of strength, he also gets completely destroyed by Ricochet. And I don't know if it was this week or last week, but off the 630,
Yeah.
when Ricochet landed on his knee, and he just gets up and shakes it off like,
He's
yeah,
fine.
I'm good.
He wrestled the next week. All of us were like, "Oh fuck, Cesaro again is going down," and then all of a sudden it's like, "Nope, he's fine." Like, how?
Dude, this guy got his fucking teeth knocked into his skull, continued the match, and wrestled the next night.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. So, so I have to ask: is that why he has the braces now?
Yeah, I think they're just kind of like realigning everything. Although you'd think he'd get Invisalign, but whatever. Maybe it doesn't go well with wrestling.
I don't know. I don't know how permanent Invisalign is in your mouth. I would assume that there is the chance that it might fly out or it might fly down your throat. So maybe that was
Yeah,
a
that's
safer
true.
option. But yeah, man, this match I thought was really good too. I thought it showed everyone's strengths. Obviously, Ricochet got to look like a fucking boss. I also love the fact that we started this match with every single person annihilating Elias. So it was
That
like,
was the best part.
Oh,
Everybody
my God.
just took a shot at Elias as they entered the ring.
yeah,
Including Miz. Oh, what did Miz do? Miz counted the Cesaro swings.
yes, he got up at the top.
That
of
was
the counter.
great.
Yeah. So then the other thing too was like, I mean, you had the heels doing it too, but I also like the fact that when Ricochet got in, he kind of looked at him and was like, well, I mean, everyone else is doing it. I guess I should do it. Like,
Everybody else is doing
He
it.
almost felt bad about doing it.
I know.
But
No, that was
yeah.
kind of hilarious. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a funny way to open Raw. It was something different. It wasn't over
segment?
yeah, it wasn't like ridiculously done promos this time. It was I thought it was refreshing. I liked it.
Yeah.
And we had a match for stakes within the first, 15 minutes, which
No, that was
The
SmackDown.
United no. It was for contendership for the United States Championship. Sal.
Yes. So you were going that. I was going heavy machinery
No, no.
reference.
right, I meant there were stakes attached to the match.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But yeah, so I mean, this started off our night of Seth Rollins as well, sort of putting a hit on any single person that wanted to be the special guest referee. So obviously Elias was the first person, obviously, and he wound up getting 5 people to fucking take him out as well. But then later on, we had EC3 come out, and then he got blasted by a chair, which led to a rather comical moment with the New Day, where they weekend at Bernie'd him. Which I don't know if you guys saw his response on Twitter to this, but EC3 said, "Every time I make you laugh, I die a little inside."
Oh,
So,
that's kind of sad.
but you know, see, here's the thing. Now, it's sort of his character now because he started.
Why
to
the
do-
fuck did they call that guy up?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't
What the
know.
fuck? Like, they never even let him really establish himself again down in NXT. He was on one takeover, I think, and had just sort of started a program with somebody. I forget. Maybe it was Adam Cole, actually.
It was Adam Cole.
Right before he left. They call him up. They do these big fucking packages. They wait months. They don't let him talk. It was just like, it was ridiculous. He's joked about how badly they misused him during his first run.
This
Is worse.
Yeah, it really is. And here's another opportunity for them to give him a little time, and then they just joke him out again. He just becomes a fucking joke again. At least with like some of the other people that have been doing the 24/7 thing, they've been getting some good. Now, like EC3 and Drake were doing really good, and I was like, well, maybe this is actually going to lead to something. And then they did this, which, yes, like I laugh, but at the same time, I'm just like, he doesn't fucking deserve that. Like he's not a comedy wrestler, you know. Like if that was Heath Slater in that spot, Heath is a comedy wrestler. You'd be like, okay, that makes total fucking sense. That's what he does. EC3 is a guy who's trying to be like a serious dude. Now, like I said, it's sort of led to this new character of his where he is like depressed wrestler, I guess.
I suppose.
Because we've seen it. He kind of plays it up on Twitter, which I'm sure is just him being partly real, you know, like. But also, yeah, like just his like mannerism, stuff like that with his entrance. Now he's just like EC3, you know.
Do you want to know what's depressing? When they were running the vignettes for the NXT 6, which included Lars Sullivan, Lacey Evans, Heavy Machinery, EC3, and Nikki Cross, every one of those people are going to be featured at Stomping Grounds, you know, minus Lars because of the injury. But every one of them has gotten a push, except for EC3.
I wouldn't say Nikki Cross has gotten a push.
She's going to be part of that title match one way or another. She's either going to be a ringside or she's going to cost. Well, we'll get into that later. But Nikki probably the least of them all. But still, Nikki is being pushed more than EC3.
That's true. I'm not saying that. I'm not disagreeing with you.
When they announced those 6 on December 17th, there was no way I thought that he was going to be the one that was going to be dropped out. No fucking way.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Lars, it's yet to be seen what they decide to do with him because.
Well, the injury kind of warps everything because I feel like they were putting him in a spot of prominence, but now who knows? Now we're talking 9 months. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. I mean, it sort of seems like maybe Lucha House Party got their wish because they were intending to injure him every time they went out there. So.
Well, they did their job. Look, this is the part where I think a lot of people on this show are going to get mad at me. I did not really enjoy Seth and his best friend Chair this week. It's just like, who the fuck's the face here and who the fuck's the heel? Because not only did Seth, for no fucking reason, start jumping people with a chair, people like, you know, on much lower levels of the card. Like, it's not like he's jumping Brock anymore. He's literally jumping the WWE 24/7 title picture.
Okay, so I understand that, but this felt to me like a little bit of The Rock and Stone Cold when they were faces back in the Attitude Era, where Stone Cold was going on giving stunners to backstage hands. You know, like
yes, but Austin didn't need a weapon. You know what I mean? That's the part that is egregious to me.
No, the thing is that you know, Seth right now he's got his back against the wall. He's got Corbin and all his friends, so this is his equalizer. So I didn't have a problem with him going and taking a chair to everyone who he deemed to be siding with Corbin to try to take his championship away from him. I didn't have that big of a problem with it, but you know, I understand if you're looking for him to be more of that clean cut, never do anything wrong baby face, then yeah, it makes no sense for him to do that. But if you're looking for him to be sort of this new age, sort of anti-hero kind of thing, then it makes perfect sense for his character to do these kind of things. But Jason, what's your take on it?
It was. I sort of liked it, and I liked it for a very specific reason. In recent time, we've never seen, or we haven't seen in a long time, a face be an aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of the face being sort of the idiot. We've seen a lot of the face being, the victim of the authority and just blah, 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 or goofy or silly or stupid. In this case, we saw a face recognize an opportunity to help himself out and do so. And do so in a way that made sense, that was logical, and somewhat entertaining. So I sort of dug it. I didn't have any problems with it. I liked it. And
But
John
then he
on
got
the
jumped
side,
at the end of the night.
Sure.
All the people who he wronged throughout the episode came and attacked him during the main event. And
Okay.
again, that just, to me, that dynamic is weird. I didn't have a problem when he did it to Brock, because you look at the size of Brock and what Brock's done in the past. But I kind of have a problem. Maybe it's because, I've always been a fan of EC3 or whoever, right? But, it's really? Those guys are going to be the ref, so you jump them? I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Attack Corbin, sure, because he's your opponent, but...
yeah, but I mean, if John Cena did a low blow to Brock Lesnar to win, people would be like, he's turning heel.
That's true.
So for
Yeah.
this is so Seth hit him with a low blow to win the championship. He's hit him with a low blow to retain it. So why is it out of the ordinary that he would use a chair to be an equalizer or anything? Then Seth is kind of a dirty guy, but he's a likable. He's that shades of gray that we had been hearing we were going to be getting in WWE, where
That we've been wanting
that we've
for a
been
while.
wanting, because right now the roster is a bunch of chicken shit heels and a bunch of clean cut white meat baby faces, and
Right.
that gets boring when it's where do you really have a heel who's not a fucking chicken shit right now? They all seem to be, Dolph Ziggler can't fucking attack Kofi Kingston head on.
I mean, Drew. Maybe Drew.
Drew
'cause he's-
cheap shots people and hits them from behind. Drew destroyed a fucking dude who asked for a raise this week, with his back turned to him. That's a beast.
While he was on the phone with his family.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. He
Yeah.
did wait till you.
And then
left to
stole
take a
his phone.
call.
And then still-
By the way, it's not on the list, but can we just give props to the Revival for that?
For
The
grabbing the money?
tremendous improv of stealing the money and the phone and walking
Oh
away
my
with
God.
it.
oh my gosh.
Oh, it was fantastic. John on the side says, I was with him right up until Eric Young. I thought Eric Young had a credible enough explanation that hitting him with the chair seemed like injury to insult that has been his booking. So I guess John's an Eric Young guy.
But at the same time, though, here's my thing: they were used, and they were used in a main event program. Now, nothing might happen because of it, but Eric Young got TV time. The B team got TV time. EC3 got TV time.
Eric Young got as
Here's
much
my
TV
problem.
time as the extras in the friggin' Adam Rose party. You know what I mean?
When Rusev wasn't on,
I know, it's true.
Shinsuke
The only-
Nakamura wasn't on, so
The only real problem I have with this whole thing was the lack of logic on Seth's part. The match isn't going to happen unless there's a referee. I mean, somebody's going to take that job. So you can keep knocking these people off, but there's going to be somebody else. And by the way, all of them were back on their feet by the end of the show, as Sal pointed out. So why the fuck are we to believe they're incapable now of being referee on Sunday?
right. I think he's trying. He's trying to make them scared, but when we went off the air Raw, they definitely didn't seem scared. So
No,
Right.
it was the logic fail.
yeah, we shouldn't have seen them again. Is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Oh,
So let's go ahead and round out Raw here by discussing the Firefly Funhouse. So this episode here, I said it in the host thread, I'll say it again on here. This definitely felt like the final... Okay, I mean, we don't have to fight over who's going to delete stuff. I was doing it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I just don't want to delete my numbers on there, because otherwise
Okay.
it's going to happen. This to me definitely felt like the last one. Now we've heard from production people saying that this was the last one. I really enjoyed this, and we're going to talk about it. I didn't enjoy the fact that we replayed it on SmackDown.
They've been doing that every week.
I know, but
Well, we also don't know which brand he's on.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I suppose in this day and age, it really doesn't fucking matter anymore. But
We'll get to that.
so if this was the last one, I think it's safe to assume we won't see him now for another 2 months.
Probably.
And then by the time everyone forgets, then he'll make his reappearance.
Probably. But yeah, so we had essentially this was just him kind of like recapping everything for us, and letting us know, that he built this place for his friends and everything like that, and we still didn't get like 100% word on what exactly was going on here. There's a lot of different theories for what's going on this, obviously. Yes, Sally, you had something to say.
Yeah, speaking of the theories, I heard an interesting one this week that the whole
It's not Dean Ambrose.
no, but the whole cast, join us. This will now move Bray to phase 2, where maybe he is joined by this time other wrestlers. Maybe he starts this dark faction, kind of like a ministry sort of deal. Maybe. I mean, it's an interesting thought.
I mean,
So it's almost like he'd become a cult leader?
Yeah. Well, do you think the whole join us thing was done by accident? I mean, obviously they're going some direction
Well,
with
I
it.
mean, Y2J never saved us.
yeah.
I don't think it necessarily means anything.
I mean, Bray Wyatt used to say follow the buzzards because he wanted you to follow him.
And now it's follow
into
the
his
leader.
cult. Yeah.
And yeah, now it's follow the leader.
Yeah,
So
it's-
I don't know.
It's the same shit he did before. Now, if it happens to be one of those cases like where he becomes sort of like the right to censor, where after they beat people they join them,
Oh, I hope so.
then I'd be interested in that.
I really hope so.
Especially if he's going to feud with people who could use some help, like Harper. Sorry, a little something in my throat there. Go ahead.
Can I just say I want a fucking soundtrack of all those remixes of the Muscle Man dance, because some of those sounded
They were
fucking
so
great.
good. Like,
Some
that
of them were
fucking-
great,
that-
man.
that
I think
rap-
they got Eminem to do the rap one. That
It
sounded
sounded
like
like
Eminem.
him.
That
didn't
sounded
it?
like Eminem. Absolutely, it did.
Oh my god, the rap one was great, by the way.
Yeah.
So again, when they started doing that, I was like, I thought, okay, this is his theme music. Like the Muscle Man dancing is his theme music and everything like that, and I was expecting him to come out, and then we cut to Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan talking. I did notice though that we cut to Eric Rowan first instead of Daniel Bryan, the bigger star, after the end of the Bray Wyatt thing. So maybe they're hinting at Rowan's going to team back up with him, but I think at this point, I mean,
Foreshadowing is something they've done really well at lately. I'd give them a ton of credit in that regard.
yeah.
No, but Bray has done really well in the past 2 months.
Yeah. Bray does really well until they pull the rug out from under his feet. Then,
Well,
then
okay.
all of his foreshadows were nothing. It's just like, well, I intended
Let's say
that.
this is the end of the Firefly Funhouse, right? As far as, like you said, the skits they've filmed. I had wrote this in my notes. I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the whole thing of it. I am a little bit leery as to, okay, well, now what? Because there has to be a now what, and Lord knows this is where I think WWE might fuck it up. So, for what it was, the past 10 weeks, I've enjoyed it. It's been intriguing. It's been the better part of Raw more often than not. Now, I would assume they're not going to put all that money into something just to not do anything with it. I would assume. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely have never done that before.
Jason,
no,
where
no,
would
no.
you go with this next? If you had the book.
Anywhere?
So I think I've said this before. I would bring the Firefly Funhouse
Why
Bray
do you have
Wyatt.
such a problem saying it?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. It might have something to do with my recording schedule from last night. I don't know. But if it were up to me, I would introduce him as the jovial, host and blah blah blah, and I would make the Fiend similar to the Demon and something we don't see all the time. It's something that's saved for specific instances, specific stories, somewhere out of nowhere. To me, that's the way to go, because I think the effect of something like The Fiend gets lost if you see it all the time.
I agree.
See, and
100% agree.
I would have went a couple weeks ago. I would have said maybe this character is like a Abyss Joseph Parks thing. But
Mm-hmm.
we had Bray threatening to bring the Fiend in, so clearly he's in control of it. So that's where it makes it seem like he might wrestle in his Muscle Man dance gear, and then if shit gets real, then he brings the Fiend in, like Jason said.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, we
what
might be
would like.
we might be looking at a Faces of Foley kind of thing here,
Right.
where they exist, they know each other exists, but they don't know they're the same person.
Yeah. Well, and
You know?
then on top of that, like we do still have the possibility that he brings back his old gimmicks too, because he has brought these guys in.
Huskus the pig, yeah.
Huskus the
He
pig.
shined a light on them. Like,
Yeah. So maybe he shows up as Husky Harris one of these times, or maybe he shows up as like Bayou Bray Wyatt and things like that. And you're just like,
why you Bray Wyatt?
I mean, that's what he kind of was, wasn't it?
Now I want a video game of Bray Wyatt in Bayou form.
All I can tell you is I want the Vince puppet to be the new general manager of Raw.
Oh,
That
That's
fucking
so
thing is
good.
amazing.
I love that they brought him back again for this one too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely intriguing, and we will definitely have to see. Obviously, with the WWE Footjackers coming up this weekend, there is a chance that he shows up and does something in there, but I would assume we're probably going to wait until Monday for that and maybe start building up towards Extreme Rules, which of course is sort of the perfect venue for Bray to come back,
Exactly.
for an
I
Extreme
agree
Rules
with
match.
that 100%.
Extreme Rules, taking names and breaking rules.
So we had I had one. Sorry, we had two big highlights from SmackDown, and then something kind of shitty. So let's start with the highlights of it. So the 24/7 Championship on Raw was sort of a non-factor. We had one little skit where Carmella and R-Truth were dressed up. Carmella was Hitler, which I thought was a little offensive.
They only have 3 hours on Raw, and they needed to get 7 Shane McMahon skits in there. Troy, I mean, come on.
Oh, trust me. Just you wait until this weekend when the second episode of Blue Fist comes out, and we talk about the numerous times that Shane, Triple H, and China show up on the second episode of SmackDown.
I'd be curious in a 3-hour broadcast. Like, take out the commercial time. I wonder how much time was actually devoted to Shane McMahon on that show. I guarantee someone's got that stat somewhere.
Somebody has
Couple-
to have done that because there was
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, me, Troy, and Ginger did an episode of The Rundown, and Troy was kind enough to let us know that 2 hours have been dedicated to Shane
Yeah,
on that week's program.
I had read that 2 hours on that week's programs between Raw and SmackDown was dedicated to Shane McMahon.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, SmackDown's only 2 hours.
No, no,
Raw and
between
SmackDown.
SmackDown and Raw,
Yeah.
Shane was on
I-
screen for 2 hours.
Find that hard to believe. I mean,
Remember this was the one where Shane came out and had his long promo, and then did the match with Lance Anoa'i, and then came back later in the night, and then on SmackDown had another big part of it too. So
Yeah, but I mean, even still, you're talking about, so it's a 5-hour show with commercials. Take out commercials, now you're talking probably, 4 hours between the two shows combined?
I'm thinking
Less commercials?
So I'm thinking that they counted, because I had read this. I think that they had counted the commercial time in there.
Okay.
So it was going off. It was 2 hours of every 5-hour week is what it was.
But then you're still talking about 4 hours of actual wrestling time, 2 of which is devoted to Shane. I find that, I could be wrong, but I find that I tend to
I
have a
really
hard time.
wouldn't doubt if it's not 2, it was close, because I mean, he multiple segments. You got to figure at least 10 or 15 minutes each time he's on camera for 2 days. So, I mean, add it up, you know.
So yeah. So,
Oh, and by the way, fucking Miz pointed out that Shane has done nothing but taken up TV time, and for his troubles got the shit kicked out of him this week.
yeah, I mean we're talking again about the fact that the wild card rule has already made time a premium for a lot of these guys, because they have been having so many people pull double duty, and then you put a almost 50-year-old guy who's not a full-time wrestler then as your top heel, and yeah, I can understand why a lot of the talent are probably pretty frustrated with that. But we're trying to stay positive on this one, because over on SmackDown, we finally ended a program with a different 24/7 champion, because as R-Truth was getting ready to leave in his vehicle, he realized that Carmella was standing by him, but oh wait, it wasn't Carmella. It was Drake Maverick in a wig and outfit. Drake manages to roll up R-Truth, fake tits hit the ground, and Drake Maverick, your new 24/7 champion, hops in the vehicle, almost crashes it, by the way. If you go back and watch, he has to quickly swerve at the end that he's going by, and proceeds to take that championship straight to his wedding.
Well, he's getting charged with Grand Theft Auto this week, so
I-
that's my car.
I assume at some point this week we're going to get like a 24/7 title change at his wedding.
I was hoping so.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
that would be fantastic. Like, well, see, and he's already shown pictures that he does have it at the wedding, because it was like him, EC3, and Braun Strowman were there, and they were taking a bunch of pictures of it. Yeah, Braun Strowman is like best friends with those two guys. They constantly hang out with each other. It's weird, but it's the case.
I was actually glad that they didn't have him with the title on 205. I was nervous they were going to forget that continuity arc and do that, but they didn't, so good on them. Just to catch up on the side a little bit, because we fell behind a little bit, Smathers popped in and said Bray Wyatt would be a real heel if he ever gets on TV, to which John responded that Bray's going to get a huge pop when he shows up. I sort of agree with John on that one. John says replaying it on SmackDown is better than all the Raw recaps we got on SmackDown. Hold more on that later, John. He said the Bray Wyatt's group needs to not just be a Wyatt family reboot, and said if indeed there is a group, we see the Demon just as often as we see Finn lately. Fair point. Dolph's promos have been awful while we're on SmackDown. I actually liked Dolph's promo this week, right up until the Sunday, like that part. Right up until then, he had me, and then he lost me. And then Smathers said, to be fair, Spud is used to the steering wheel being on the other side of the car. Fair enough.
Nice. If we're gonna quickly hit on Adolf, I'm just over him. It would take.
It didn't take long, did it?
No, it would take something. I mean, no, I was over him last year. I mean,
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like he comes back after being out for 6 months, you think, all right, it's a little bit fresh, but it's really not.
No.
You know who's not over him?
Vince
WWE management, because he's in the advertisements for Night of Champions against Kofi Kingston.
Yep,
Oh,
he is.
fuck.
So, and that's sort of my issue here, is that I feel like the Dolph Ziggler character has, to me personally, and this is my opinion, but to me, the Dolph Ziggler character has been ruined beyond repair, and he needs something new and fresh. And this is kind of the same thing he's been doing to me. So
I was gonna say this is not it.
yeah,
this is
not
just
it. So
this is just him turned his volume up a little bit.
yeah. So to me, like I didn't. Think,
But it's so he's not ruined, and we keep going back to that word.
No, I didn't say ruined.
No, Troy did. But the problem is, if he wins that championship on Sunday, it's a new thing, because then we go through this and he actually does what he says he's going to do, and now he goes on a little bit of a run with that title. It is rebuilt. He is fresh. He is new, and you've got something to run with.
Right, but I didn't say he was ruined. I said his character, to me, was ruined. And his character needs a change, because this is the exact same Kofi. This is the exact same Dolph that left and disappeared for a while. This is and to me, he just bores me at this point. So I need something new if he's going to do something. Otherwise, he just go back away, because I didn't miss him.
No, that's absolutely correct. If he walks away and with that title, and then he shows up on SmackDown and goes, "It is me," then yeah, great. It is something new. I don't see that happening. I see Dolph as a legit placeholder and just getting a title shot to get to the next pay-per-view.
So this is interesting. Because sorry.
Yeah, but if Dolph wins the championship at Footjackers, and then turns around and loses at Night of Champions, then at least it's something.
I thought the next pay-per-view was Extreme Rules. Isn't Night of Champions in like September?
Oh yeah, that's right, sir. True. So if he wins it here, then they have another match at Extreme Rules or something like that, and it's something. But yeah, obviously you take it with a grain of salt what those actual, like bookings are right now for Night of Champions, because most of it is just placeholder text anyways. But go ahead, Jason.
Sure, yeah. It brought up an interesting thing, because one of the things he said was I didn't miss him. And one of the conversations we had on the show recently was, once Ambrose was gone, I said I don't think anybody would miss him. And even despite the fact that he's getting a big pop in AEW and getting a lot of press, I don't miss him on the WWE product. I don't know about you guys. Like, I don't watch it and go, shit, it's really... Like, when Roman was gone, I found myself going, yeah, this show's really missing Roman.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about Ambrose at all.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked? I might be the only one, but I miss John Cena on the WWE programming.
That's a fair point.
I really fucking do. And to go with what you just said, no, look, I'm glad Ambrose is doing something outside the WWE, and what he's doing outside the WWE works for him. But talk about stale. There was nothing left for him in WWE. Nothing. I mean, what would you have done to rebuild that? Put a gas mask on him? Oh wait, tried that, failed horribly. So.
Hooper Scooper.
So this brings up
Good
the thing
shit.
about Dolph. They've done this with Dolph repeat. You know when Dolph was interesting? The last time Dolph was interesting was when he fought Miz for the IC title.
Yeah.
And he almost retired, but then he ended up winning the title. And then the second he won that title, he just kind of went back to being Dolph.
That was because that was the first time that he had done his whole, like, if I fail, I'm done thing. Whereas, like, now he's doing it again. And it's like, well, like, it worked the first time. It's not going to work the second time, man. Like,
Yeah.
It's you just can't do the exact same fucking thing as you did before. Obviously, if he does beat Kofi, I mean, that's a huge fucking heat that will.
Oh,
just
that
thrown
is a
at him.
big deal. That is a big deal,
Yeah.
but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, anything else before we move
Can
on?
I throw I mean, since we're talking about the him possibly finding a way to win at the pay-per-view, can I just go back to the notion of his history and relationship with Big E? And if Big E were to side with him and turn on Kofi, you would actually have a compelling story that would make sense, that would shock people, that you could go back and pull from history to explain it.
Oh,
Like-
stop! They don't do that in the WWE. You had me up until compelling.
So here's the thing. I've said it numerous times already. They're not turning him. Should they turn him? Yes. By fucking all means, yes. Big E should turn. They're not going to do it, though. Now, I've been wrong, obviously. I said that they weren't going to put the title on Kofi. And I'd be happy to be wrong at this point. But I just do not see, with how much money those three make and everything like that, and with how important they are to SmackDown and everything like that, I just do not see them breaking them up. But, anything can happen. I mean, if that happens, I think that would be a great sign that maybe they are starting to do some shit. Maybe they are starting to, to listen to, or at least, like, understand that they need to do some of these big swings, and maybe that is something that would maybe jump-starting the fucking program a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting.
My thing is, if they decide to turn Big E, they're saving that for the SummerSlam program, and they want the SummerSlam program to be for the WWE Championship. So, in my opinion, Kofi is almost guaranteed to hold that title until then. You know what I mean? Why waste if they ever do the Big E turn, it's going to be big money, and you got to do it at SummerSlam.
I mean, that makes sense, but I mean, you can have Kofi lose the title and win it back.
But then
they love to stack on championship wins for people.
That's true.
I mean, look at Daniel Bryan as a 3-time WWE champion.
If I had a title reign for every time I returned, I'd be Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
That's a booking joke, y'all.
They were like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. So
that speaks to what you were talking about earlier with missing John Cena. There are really not a ton of guys that can just get away with saying shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like, that wasn't on a script. Like, they just, that was off the top. Like, Cena was one of those guys, and I think the New Day have reached the point, it's like, what the fuck are they going to do to us? Like, sure, let's go out and have fun with it. And you can take that by E's Twitter, same thing.
yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what they're missing, is more guys who just don't give a shit what happens out there.
It feels like Owens sometimes reaches into that part too, but not to the extent that Cena and the New Day seem to have.
Right.
And John says if Biggie doesn't turn, who the hell does Kofi face at SummerSlam? To which I say, who the fuck expected him to be facing Dolph Ziggler right now? Who knows?
Sure.
Probably me.
And this point started about Drake Maverick. Good on Drake. I'm glad he's finally the 24/7 champion. But did you happen to catch that Truth didn't even acknowledge him walking by the quote-unquote Carmella? Like, we saw it in the camera, but Truth kept looking backwards and going, Carmella, where are you? Like, he didn't even acknowledge that Drake was Carmella or even think that Drake was Carmella. He just tried to get in the car.
He doesn't think that Drake was Carmella. He thinks Carmella beat him for the championship. Did you not catch when Drake drove away and he said, why nobody told me Carmella was getting married? Why wasn't I invited? He thinks Carmella beat him for the championship. He doesn't think Drake beat him for the championship.
I know, but he didn't even acknowledge it when he walked by him, and he walked right by him. Like, he wasn't like, come on, Carmella, let's go. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I said, he doesn't think that was Drake. He thinks that was Carmella, because he's fucking stupid. So, speaking of women, Bayley and Alexa Bliss had another moment of bliss. So we sort of talked again about, with Seth sort of being a little bit more of a heel. Bayley definitely is sort of that more gray area here, coming out and kind of insulting Alexa and things like that. Not nearly to the extent, but I'm enjoying, this new Bayley. But what we got was, yet again, Alexa seems to find a way to make her opponents seem like the heels. And she did it with, Nia Jax, saying that Nia was a bully and stuff like that. She's been doing it with Bayley, saying, oh, you're going to come out here and you're going to just drink my coffee and be mean and say mean things. And, she's claiming she's going on Twitter and she refusing to sign autographs over that. Alexa has this amazing thing where it's like, in her own world, she's the face and everyone else is the bad guys kind of thing.
That's what a good heel should be.
Exactly.
A good heel should always believe their motivations are the right ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously this is the second time that Alexa and Bayley have been in a feud together, and so far, simply because they didn't have a This Is Your Life, this has been a far better feud. But Jason, what are your thoughts on the Bayley and Alexa moment of bliss?
First off, Bayley's jeans.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you so much.
Goddamn.
I was going to say, I never knew I needed Bayley and jeans in my life, but apparently I do.
Yeah, no, it reminded me very much of the Jason Derulo song Wiggle. Or even The Ladies' Man with Tim Meadows. And Lila, somebody stole 2 fine hams and shoved them down the back of your pants. So, aside from that, I actually fucking loved this segment. I thought this was great because here's the thing. We've had so much interaction between these two that was based off stupid, hokey bullshit that now we have a program and they gave us a credible, believable backstory that provides motivation for the character to attack Bayley. Mm-hmm. And they're also doing it in a way where you're starting to see some of the other people in the locker room, because they did that thing on Raw where Alexa just tweeted that Bayley refused to sign an autograph because someone was wearing a Nikki Cross shirt, and then Bayley leaves, and the other girl's like, "You don't really think she would do that, do you?" Like, they're starting to tell the story of Bayley. I'm starting to wonder if this is a setup for some sort of a Bayley turn, but I love this shit. This to me was what this feud needed. It got some heat. It did it in a way that's relatable to other people. And I thought it set up really nicely. The only problem I had with it was Alexa calling out Charlotte as being the one who had her back when she talked a ton of shit about Charlotte in the past.
That was I don't know. I kind of thought of that as a throwaway line, but
But I almost, the only thing missing to me would have been her saying you and Sasha were like, because you could have tied that to the whole Sasha and Bailey as friends, sort of being the mean girls when we always thought Alexa was the mean girl.
Yeah.
So but yeah, other than that, just amazing segment, really well done, and I'm fucking fired up for that match now.
Yeah, I like the fact too that they have set up where it makes total sense for Nikki Cross to help Alexa too, because
Yep.
Alexa helped Nikki Cross out, and then now here's another chance where who's the person that attacked who first in this segment? Bailey was the one who attacked Alexa first. So so for Nikki that looks, oh yeah, she is the bully. Look, she hit her first.
But-
And they've also set up an opening for Nikki to cost Alexa the match by accident, and then for Alexa to show her true colors to Nikki.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of different ways they could go there.
they've also set up a beautiful situation where Bailey was pointing out a lot of truths. Like, look, Alexa's done this to other people. She did this to Nia Jax. She did this to Mickie James. So maybe, Nikki's got to go through a dynamic of, do I help Alexa or is Bailey right? And that could play out.
Yeah.
And that would be beautiful. And you know what? Both Alexa and Bailey brought up really great points. And that's the best. That's when feuds are at their best. When you can literally see that both people have a valid case.
The only thing missing was Bailey saying, "Look, you partner up with Alexa, you tear your ACL."
Yeah, no, the only thing missing from this was that outfit from last week's SmackDown for Alexa.
Oh,
And then you mix that with the jeans. Oh,
Anyways,
have a whole nother perfect 10. But anyway.
speaking of hot chicks, Scarlett Bordeaux, after complaining about her pay, surprisingly was fired by Impact Wrestling.
So is that the reason she was fired?
I'm
Like,
sure
just because
she
she was
wasn't
complaining
fired.
in the...
No, she wasn't fired. She requested her release.
they
Oh,
requested her
that's
release
different.
and
That is different. Okay.
So again, we haven't really touched on this much, but Scarlett complained about how much she was getting paid. Scarlett worked like 3 or 4 days a month for Impact. Okay, like you get what you pay for. She also, as Jason has said in the past, signed that contract. She agreed to those terms. She was free to take outside bookings. She decided not to take outside bookings. So, now she obviously kind of has to. The other side of it was Killer Cross, because he is banging Scarlett Bordeaux, also asked for his release, and they're like, nah, no, we like using you. Obviously Scarlett came out and said, oh, Impact doesn't pay that good of that. Well, then don't fucking sign the contract. Don't work for him then. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to work for him.
But no. But here's the problem. Here's the difference with Scarlett, though.
Yeah.
It's since come to light she wasn't on a regular contract.
Right.
She was still being paid. She was locked into exclusivity, but still being paid on a per appearance. Mm-hmm. So if she doesn't appear on the show, she has to pay for her lodging and everything down there, and doesn't get paid off the show. So originally what she requested was a regular talent contract where she would be paid regardless of usage with a downside guarantee. Mm-hmm. That's what they refused. That's what she requested her release.
Okay. And that's on them. They didn't feel like they wanted to use her full time. So, it's...
She was one of the most compelling things they had on that show. That's
Yeah, but it's Impact. Impact on Impact.
Yeah,
they don't know how to use
But
talent.
not only that, a downside guarantee, I'm not too familiar, but I'm assuming that's usually reserved for in-ring talent, and for all accounts, Scarlett was...
Not particularly, but
No.
typically it's the people that you want to use on your show. Is you give them a downside guarantee, because that way, if you tell them, okay, well, we don't have anything for you this week, they're not turning around and like booking elsewhere or some of that. That way, if something does fall through, you can turn around and be like, hey, you're sitting in the back right now, not doing anything. Get out there and do a match, or get out there and be a manager for this person or by that. So, but again, like I said, they didn't feel that they wanted to use her that way, and and so she can go now and be whatever she wants to be. So,
But to that point, she was largely free to book indies if she wanted to, and she
Right.
was. So the theory behind this is, well, the only reason she would request a release here would be if she had a deal to go to either AEW or WWE, a place where she wouldn't be allowed to work, were she still working for Impact.
Yeah. Now, there is some smoke to that WWE rumor because we know that her and Seth Rollins are really good friends.
Yeah.
She has trained at his Black and Blue, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
She's best friends with his ex-girlfriend.
Yes,
I know that.
exactly. So, you could totally see him trying to put in a good word and get her a job. I don't know if they would use her in ring. She's not the strongest in ring worker. Obviously, she's a very beautiful woman.
Alicia Fox.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Is like I don't know.
They use Alicia Fox in ring.
Oh, I know. But
Could she be worse than Alicia Fox? And she's more fun to look at.
She is
So
okay, yeah. But at least there could be something there for her, even if it's just a guest trainer or something like that, or makeup artist or something like that.
No, Scarlett. I mean, let's be honest here. Scarlett, in any organization, her money is in front of the camera. Now, managerial role, I'm down.
Yeah.
Sure. Put her as a managerial role. She's proved she can do it. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of managers when they're used correctly, and I don't think that there's enough of them out there. Obviously, Maria Kanellis works as a manager.
Ooh.
So yeah, I could see them hooking Scarlett up with somebody and having her be kind of the name. The other manager that we have right now, she's so terrible at her job that she can't get her tag team booked. So, and thanks, Paige. But that does bring us...
Oh no, she got her team booked. I mean, it's not on the perfect 10, but we can talk about it.
No, we don't need to. Because that takes us to known piece of shit Todd Sopel Dick of the Week. Because
Wait, did we skip a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, we definitely skipped a bunch of stuff.
we're not done.
I thought we were going...
Oh.
It ties in with the current topic we're
okay.
talking about.
Oh.
It's down.
John on the side says they still use Lacey Evans.
That's true.
So Scarlett is better than is not as good as Lacey. Lacey Evans just needs more experience. I think I think her problem was that they brought her up to the main roster and didn't use her for 2 months in the ring.
Right.
So she sort of stagnated. But yeah, Lacey Evans is fine, and Scarlett isn't as bad as people make her out to be.
She's
She was
not
working
Brandy
with
Rhodes.
no, she was working with dudes
She's
a lot.
Velvet Sky. Right? I mean, would that be an apt comparison in ring? Maybe 5 years ago?
I would. The problem for me with Scarlett in a WWE sense is she's sort of redundant because she's Mandy Rose.
You know what she'd be great with? She'd be great as like the baby doll of Undisputed Era.
No.
No.
No?
Marina
Shafir
is going to be joining the UE pretty soon. Anyways, we had a segment to talk about known piece of shit Todd Sopel Dick of the Week because while Scarlett Bordeaux was down in Mexico for a AAA show, one of the fans proceeded to go, "I want some of that," and grabbed a hold of her and tried to pull her over the barricade. Thankfully, I'm sorry I don't know the other woman's name that was out there with her, but one of the other workers wound up grabbing her away from that fan.
Oh, the guy tried to grab some titty too.
Yes, he did definitely try to stick some digits in her. So yeah, this of course brings up continued issues with the fact that the fans in Mexico have had numerous times that they have done this kind of shit. Now, this isn't a 14-year-old kid trying to grab some titty like we've seen in the past in WWE and stuff like that. That you can kind of get away with. This is like a 40-year-old fat dude who proceeded to just be like, "I'm gonna get involved in this shit." I don't care what you might be thinking at that moment. It is never okay to jump the barrier. It is never okay to grab the workers in the way that this guy did. And it's never okay to really touch the workers unless they invite it themselves. If they're going by and putting out their hands, slapping their hands over that, that's fine that they're inviting it. Scarlett was in the middle of a match, in the middle of a move, and this guy grabbed her. And now she took to Twitter and had sort of said the same thing that I just said, but also said she didn't realize how scary it actually was, because she was in the middle of a match.
No, until she watched it back. Yeah. Like, adrenaline going, the whole thing. She didn't even understand what was going on. So there's two things that I have to say about this. Is that, number one, I'm not giving anybody a pass, and I'm not giving any country a pass. But I feel like we get stuff reported like this from Mexico too often. And I don't know if it's an issue with the security in the building or the police down in Mexico or what have you, but anybody in the past 20 to 30 years is always like, well, when you go down to work in Mexico, you got to watch out because they'll fucking stab you. What? Like, that's some fucked up shit. Like, if you're a wrestler, you shouldn't have to fucking worry about somebody stabbing you or robbing you or groping you. Like,
Well, I mean,
put a fucking cage up in front of the fans then if they're going to be that fucking third world country.
yeah. Well, I mean, no.
Well, to be fair, a friend of the show, retrosexual Anthony Green, recently did a trip down in Mexico and spoke of it glowingly. So I think it also depends on the promotion, where the show. It's like anything else. And people, that's like saying because there is an asshole fan who grabs Bailey's tit at Money in the Bank, then all American fans are wild fucking animals. Like, it's really not fair to do that.
No,
But
I
I've
mean,
heard bad stories about Mexico. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean,
But you hear bad stories about different places in this country too.
That's true. That's true.
Look at what happened in the fucking palace in Auburn Hills. You know,
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, known piece of shit Chris Jericho had remarked in his book too about some interesting things in Mexico. But again, I mean, it depends on where you go. I mean, it depends on where you go in America too. I mean, I'm here in Wisconsin, and one of the Brewers players a couple of years ago got mugged in Milwaukee. I mean, it happens any place you go. I mean, David Ortiz got his leg blown off in Dominican Republic. Doesn't mean that the entirety of the Dominican Republic is terrible. It just means
It was,
that 92% of the Dominican Republic is terrible. I mean,
There was a baseball fan a couple years ago at a Giants-Dodgers game, and he got jumped by two fans in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like,
you got put into
that
a
wasn't
coma.
even... Yeah, that's fucked up
There's-
shit.
Guess what? There's assholes everywhere in the world.
But the other thing is, in regards to this whole Skylar situation, is when she talked about this online, to make the situation even worse, fucking online losers decided to try to slut shame her. And be like, oh, well, this happened because you dressed a certain way.
Well, you've got celebrities that are slut shaming women every chance they get. So that's nothing new in this environment that we've built, this society that we built. It's always the woman's fault for a lot of people. So you got to remember too that at least like 20% of those are just trolls. There's a good portion of them that really feel that way, that because she dresses that way, that it's okay that she can be like abducted and sold into slavery. Like, no. First of all, that's just not how it works. I mean, and again, like, she's a wrestler. Like, the guys are out there in less clothing than she's in, like, so because Daniel Bryan just wears like the little trunks, it's okay if he gets abducted and chained to a dude's bed for the night? No. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, don't listen to that shit, because those people just need attention,
John on the side says Jericho probably gets upset when fans wave a sandwich in his general direction.
That's true. I mean, like I said, I mean, Jericho at this point is so self-involved and jaded. It's hard to take anything he says. But again, like
and Mike Smathers adds that The Rock slut shames someone every time he shows up on WWE TV.
he does. He really does.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's sort of the way it is. I mean, right now we're utilizing insults towards Seth Rollins about him banging Becky Lynch. I mean, and it's just by proximity. Anyways, so let's talk a little AEW. These things, I guess, can kind of be rolled into one, because we had another episode of Road to Fighter Fest that dropped this week. Not anything in it, to me at least, that was like incredibly eye-popping. It set up some things, obviously. We looked at the tag team. I can't remember what their fucking names are at this point. Mark Quinn and I forget the other guy's name. Shit, I watched it. I really did. But they kind of detailed their past. We had Brandy.
It's Private Party, by the way.
Private Party. That's what it is. Yep. And then we had the guy from CEO who's going to be in a match against
Jabali.
Yeah, Jabali, who's going to be in a match against Nakazawa.
Nakazawa.
Nakazawa. Yep. which was a cool story too. He kind of talked about the fact that he fucked up his ankle on when he was training, and now he's gonna have to wrestle a match in a boot. But he's still gonna do it, so I'll give him that. But the
No, that was he. So the story he was telling was last year's event.
Last
'Cause he was
year's
supposed
event,
to
sorry.
face
Okay.
Nakazawa last year
okay,
in his first match, and he blew out his ACL while training for the match.
gotcha.
So someone else took it, and he went in and interfered, or it made it a triple threat or something. And,
All right. So this year he finally gets to show up. Okay, but of course the big announcement that came out of it was Brandy Rhodes, still in her normal monotone voice, proceeded to say that we will have a women's championship and we will unveil it at All Out. She proceeded to show some of the different women that that the company employs right now, and there's definitely a lot of people who could be the inaugural champion. It's hard for me to really point out who that's going to be. Obviously, Britt Baker getting the win is sort of puts the attention on her, but I mean, look at how many different women they have, on that roster that could easily take the championship firsthand.
Well, you got Kylie Ray, you got Nyla Rose, you got Awesome Kong, Allie.
Yep.
Allie, yep.
You've got
You got all the Japanese women that they've signed.
yep. You've also got B Priestley.
Yeah, who we
Oh, I
haven't
forgot
seen
about
yet.
We
Bea
haven't seen it,
Priestley,
yep.
yeah.
And that is interesting because now they're talking about their third or fourth show, and we still really haven't heard her name for anything, and we're making matches for all these
Well,
shows.
she may be tied up in progress or wherever she's at right now,
Yeah.
but the fact that she signed, she probably is going to be at All Out, I would assume.
You would think so. And then you've also got Penelope Ford. So
Yes.
sure, yes.
yeah. So
Oh
like I
yeah,
said,
oh yeah, you do.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So like I
I
said,
mean, we don't have Penelope Ford in the way Kip Stevens has Penelope Ford, unfortunately, but
Poor Joey Janela.
but yeah.
Um,
So Sal, who would you pick as your first AEW Women's Champion out of those?
I know.
Sasha Banks.
Shut up.
Well, look, I know it's cliche, but I would go with Dr. Britt Baker. I mean, you can't go fucking wrong. She's got the in-ring skills. She's got the name. She's got the talent. She could be the first women's champion easily. And I will say this. I was fortunate enough to listen to Tony Khan this week in an interview he did. He actually joined Austin's podcast for the first new Austin podcast in 6 months. And Tony Khan's an interesting cat because he is like what you would think like Billy Bean is to like baseball statistics and like
he's a money mark.
Yeah.
That's what he is. That's
But-
what they call him in the business.
but he's very like historical. Like he knows way too much about wrestling, probably more than we do.
Well, he's a fan.
But- Yeah, but he seems to make it a point that he's going to make sure that women's wrestling is treated the same way as men's, and a lot of people can say that. But hell, I'm glad they're gonna show off the title at All Out. I look forward to what their division can consist of.
Okay. Jason, who would you choose for your first champion?
Who would I choose,
Yeah.
or who do I think it's going to be? Because I'm fairly certain at this point it's going to be Brandy Rhodes.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, but go ahead.
Who I would choose from a wrestling perspective, I might go Awesome Kong just because of the name recognition and exposure she brings to the company, especially with Glow Season 3 about to drop too. I think from a PR perspective, as you're building a new company, that's the biggest name you have to put the title on.
Yeah, I think
But it's going to be Brandy Rhodes.
probably. But you got to think for an inaugural champion of a brand new championship, you don't want to do Heath Slater and Rhino. You want to have somebody that is you can look back on and say this was the first champion. Awesome Kong was our first champion. That's why I would pick Awesome Kong. Not to say that Britt Baker can't be the second champion, but I think that for leading into the television program, I think that it looks better to have people that people know as champion than to just turn and be like, who the fuck is this guy with his belt? Okay, well, why do I care about this? So I think that's the aspect of it. Now, we also heard that they're going to have women's tag team championships, which of course I remarked they don't have any women's tag teams. So
I haven't. Did they announce that on the show? I didn't see
they did
that.
not announce it on the show. That has been
No, Khan announced
Khan
it
announced
on
it
the.
on Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah, my guess is that Christopher Daniels, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks all were listening to that. And go, wait, we're what?
Yeah.
What? What are we doing?
Right. Yeah, because they haven't signed anybody who is a established tag team. They don't have anyone on the roster who even were former tag team partners with each other.
There aren't
so.
a ton of established women's tag teams in the business in general. It's not something that typically
Right, but
has been
yeah.
focal point.
But you have a legacy of Shine tag team champions, Shimmer tag team champions.
Most of whom were singles performers who partnered up.
But at
I
least-
mean,
but at least there's a
somebody
story there.
somebody brought up the I'm blanking on their tag team name.
The Cunts.
Twisted Sisters.
Twisted.
Yes, I brought up the Twisted Sisters because they are an established tag team.
but they're singles wrestlers who team up together.
I mean, so are the Bar.
Yeah.
But then the Bar wrestled exclusively as a tag team. Thunder Rosa is still all over the place as a singles competitor.
Yeah, I understand it, but like I said, I think that you would still want to have people that you can talk about that they've been teaming for a while. They can talk about they were tag champions in this thing and like that. Other than just like here's our new two women that we just threw together. I still think that you want to have people that have at least tagged with each other in the past, so you can bring up that past when you're talking about different things.
Allie and Rosemary.
That's something. That's something that's happened in the past. You know, I mean, that's something that you can pull on. Is hey, these two were partners for a while. You know, what you can't do is you can't say, oh, Kylie Rose and Britt Baker are a veteran tag team.
Hey,
They're not.
hey,
you know?
hey, smiley dentists.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, so that's my only concern with it. But obviously, I mean, you can make two people have a compelling story and why they would team up with each other. No problem.
Right.
So, but the other aspect of Road to Fighter Fest was Brandy talking about the fact that All Out could have double sold out because of the interest and the number of people that were in queue for tickets. She brought up the fact that it was somewhere in the excess of 300,000 people were in queue to try to buy tickets to All Out. So obviously that is.
It's 135,000, I believe.
Oh, on Fighter Fest she said 300,000. They had a little graphic thing.
I could be wrong.
I know what was reported was 175,000. What they said on the YouTube video was 300,000. So. Take that, but either way, that's a fucking hell of a lot of people that wanted to go to this event.
It's also kind of look. If you're AEW, absolutely toot your own horn, promote yourself. That's what you have to do for the next couple months.
Yeah.
However, take everything with a grain of salt as a fan, because of course something new that is going to a 20,000 seat venue in Chicago, people are going to be clamoring for tickets. You know what I mean? If this was all in 8 and it was at Reliant Stadium, are they really going to be selling out in 4 minutes? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the comparison this week of WrestleMania. Look, WrestleMania's been around for 35 fucking years. I mean, they're not going to be as sought after as when they first started doing WrestleMania.
Shouldn't the biggest sporting event of WWE every year be sought after?
So here's where that fails.
There's been 50 Super Bowls. It still sells out every year.
That's where I was going to go.
Well, yeah, but WrestleMania hasn't not sold out. I mean, as far as WrestleMania goes, they do sell out. They may take 2 months to get there, but
okay. So there's several flawed comparisons being made here as we discuss this. The first being WrestleMania isn't just WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 4-5 nights of live events. You're talking NXT TakeOver, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, Raw, and SmackDown afterwards. So you're talking 5 events you're basically asking people to participate in. For a lot of people where it's easier to just watch it from home. Now, as we speak of AEW, the thing with AEW is, yes, they had tremendous turnout and early ticket purchases for All In. They had tremendous ticket purchases for Double or Nothing. Now, All In was the first non-WWE pay-per-view to try to seat, I think, 30,000 people. So there was a thing to it. It was a first. Double or Nothing was their first big pay-per-view. It was a destination pay-per-view. Is the best way I can say
Absolutely.
it. Similar to WrestleMania. All Out is sort of a destination pay-per-view. It's sort of their WrestleMania, their second year doing this. Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen are both in significantly smaller arenas and both have a large number of tickets still available.
Well, there you go.
So this notion that the AEW product is so hot that they're selling it's misguided. It's yes, AEW is hot. Yes, there's a ton of interest. But that's not going to translate to a monthly pay-per-view selling out like that all the time because their other events are not selling out right now.
Real quick on Fyter Fest, I had heard this week also that it is a part gamer fest. Now, I was unaware of this.
Well, you should have listened to me on the rundown 2 weeks ago because I told you all that.
I was here. I must have missed it. I mean, that's cool. I love gaming, so.
Kenny Omega loves gaming. That's the
right, and that's kind of why it's happening. Fight for the Fallen's got an amazing concept where the proceeds go to victims of gun violence. Good on them. What the fuck happened to Troy?
I'm still here. My camera.
I got very worried for a second. So yeah, like you said, it's very Look, you're going to promote. Of course, Brandy's going to go on her YouTube channel and be like, hey, we had 300,000 people in queue. Yeah, fuck it. Promote the shit out of it. That's what you have to do. But I think we as wrestling fans and as wrestling community have to take all this shit with a grain of salt. Like, it's not, the be-all, end-all fucking... I need to go to All Out or I'm going to die.
No, and as AEW continues, the novelty of these events is going to wear off, and the true test becomes, can they survive once that novelty has worn off?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, on the flip side, though, speaking of how hard it is to go to a 20,000-seat arena and continue to sell out, it was reported this week that WWE is having a shit ton of problems with stomping grounds. That they don't have even 70% of the tickets sold.
So before you get into our main event there, we would just like to take a second to allow Jason to explain his current outburst and why he is so upset right now.
Nobody outside of Boston cares, but
okay.
Round 2, number 33rd pick, non-guaranteed contract. Bull is still sitting there, and the Celtics just took some guy named Carson Edwards.
I mean, maybe he's a pedophile. You don't know. I mean, maybe they. So Sal wants to talk about our main event, which is, of course, with all the talks of changes, how is it this week's pay-per-view is almost all rematches and nothing new really came about. So this really is just like kind of shit. I mean, I don't really want to watch this pay-per-view. There's nothing that's really enticing me to sit down and watch it. I mean, all the matches are
except for Samoa Joe versus Ricochet.
Yeah,
because in that match, Ricochet is going to be taking names and fingering assholes. So
that's right.
But I mean, not only that, we're diehard fans. We're gonna watch Seth versus Corbin. No, I'm not.
Oh no, now you're not.
Okay.
It's weird. You were on my small little window when I went.
We're diehard fans. We're gonna watch. See what happens with Seth and Corbin. We're gonna see what happens with Dolph and Kofi. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are just diehard network subscribers, and they're like, if I see it, I see it. And at first, I was kind of wondering, well, are they redoing a bunch of matches from Sandy battles because maybe some people didn't see it, or maybe not everybody had access to it. But then they're also doing rematches for Money in the Bank. Like, I'm sorry, but we already saw Becky and Lacey, and there's no new step. So, really? The fucked up part is I think WWE looks at this and they think that they are giving us new matches because we're getting Daniel Bryan and Biodiesel versus Heavy Machinery. We're getting
hold on about that. That was added this week. Ticket sales are
So
struggling.
you're not promoting shit.
No. Ticket sales are struggling. It's in Tacoma, Washington. Are you really shocked that they tried to add Daniel Bryan to the card?
No, not at all. They also added New Day versus Owens and Zayn this week.
And yet,
Which-
no revival.
Your tag team champions.
Hey, at least we got one of the tag team championships online.
Which is great. And look, I love Owens and Zayn, and I think there is a natural story there with the New Day, but that seems like a throwaway match. That has kickoff written all over it.
Yeah, so here's my other issue though, is that the show that Vince McMahon forgets exists rehashed their fucking challengers too. The Cruiserweight Championship has Tozawa and Gulak going against Nice. Like, fucking really? Like, we can't put Kanellis in that? We can't put Oni Lorcan in that? We can't put somebody new to be on the fucking main roster show to go for the championship? No, we've got to use the same fucking two goofs that we've used before that have lost. Like, even the Cruiserweight Championship is an old, stale matchup.
Well, this is why I don't understand why Daivari didn't just take the title last month. Because anything that Tony Nese has already fought everybody on that roster. He's been on.
He has a
205.
part-time job as a strip club bouncer that he can't get out of.
I
Sometimes.
guess, but Tony Nese has already fought everybody on that roster multiple times. He's been there
Really?
since the
When did he
inception.
fight? When did he fight Mike Kanellis?
No, I'm talking about the guys he's fighting now, like Gulak and fucking Stamina Monster over there.
Yeah. More on that if you listen to Hurry Up and Cruiserweight, now available on rundownwrestling.com. So I guess we can go ahead and then make our picks, unless you guys had something else to say about this event.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling too. Like, why bother even? I mean, this, you know, we
Got a
had
very why bother feeling.
well, and again, this is another one of their brand new, like, we somebody made a logo for this and we came up with a new name. This time we don't have to pay Jerry Lewis for the rights. Let's have a first fucking, pay-per-view event starting something new, and then they lay this piece of shit on us. But let's get into the picks for this. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line as Bayley takes on Alexa Bliss. Ginger has chosen Alexa Bliss because wildcard bitches. Me and Adam have chosen Bayley. Sal, who you got?
I went with Bayley, and they have made this compelling. I don't think they pulled the plug on Bayley's title reign just yet. So I think she, this is a good challenger for her, and it's a good story. But ultimately, Bayley retains.
All right, and Jason.
I was going with Alexa until I saw those jeans. Now I'm going with Bayley.
I thought you were going to say until you saw that Ginger chose her.
That too.
Well, that too.
Roman Reigns takes on Drew McIntyre because fuck it. I have gone with the big dog, yet again winning. Jason, who you got?
I think they got to get Drew McIntyre's win back here, especially since they seem to be establishing Shane's group as like a power group. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. Yes.
Sal, who you got?
There's a real big part of me that's like, there's no way fucking Roman loses on two big shows in a row, but they have to give Drew his win back, or else he's nothing. He's literally nothing if he doesn't win this match. So I got to go Drew.
Adam and Ginger also agree with you on that.
I mean, he has the Revival at his back, and they're kicking ass and taking cell phones. So
That's right.
It's stealing money. Drew's money.
Right. They're chewing ass and beating bubblegum, and they're all out of bubblegum. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line as Becky Lynch takes on Lacey Evans again for no reason. I, just because I want to be contrarian, have went with Lacey Evans to win the championship, because fuck it. Ginger and Adam have gone with Becky Lynch. Sal, who you got?
Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. Lacey's not ready for this title.
Oh, I didn't say she was ready. I was saying they were going to give it to her. Jason.
Becky Lynch.
Ginger chose so many of these same ones as you guys are going to, so somebody needs to lose. So that's why I'm just going willy nilly with my picks. The Universal Championship is on the line as Seth Rollins takes on Baron Corbin with Brock Lesnar as special guest referee, because it's going to be Brock, right? It's totally going to be Brock as a special guest.
It has to be, I would think.
unless it's fucking Shane.
Yeah.
Let's give him more time.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be one or the other, and it's probably going to be Brock. So I went with Seth. Ginger and Adam went with Seth. Jason, who you got?
This shouldn't be as hard as it is.
Are you talking
But
about
I can totally envision a scenario where it is Brock as the referee. Baron Corbin uses Brock to help him win the title, and then Brock cashes in on him right away.
Okay.
But that sort of faces Baron Corbin a little bit, or at least Brock Lesnar, and I think that hurts. So I'm going to say Seth.
Okay. Sal.
I'm gonna go with Seth, and I just thought of something. Brock, will you come to Tacoma, Washington, to be the referee? Nope. Click.
Tacoma, Washington's not that far from Canada, dude.
Yeah, man.
I know.
Look, take a look at the other events that he went to. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. It's not like he actually leaves. Like, he goes straight from the airport to the fucking arena, then goes right back to the airport. It's not like he's seeing the cities. All right. Will there be a cash-in? Jason.
Fuck it, why not? Sure.
Okay. Sal.
I'm starting to have doubts that Brock even shows up. I really do.
Okay. Me, Ginger, and Adam all went no. The WWE Championship is intended in a cage match, as Kofi Kingston will take on Adolf Ziggler. Jason.
Kofi.
All right. Sal.
Kofi.
All the rest of us went with Kofi as well. Will there be a cash-in? Because, again, Brock can cash in on either person. It's not completely a... Sal, here you go.
Fuck it, why not? Sure.
He's just gonna cash in twice.
Yeah. Sal.
No, not gonna be a cash in. No.
Jason.
No.
Okay.
Because it will be happening in Seth's match.
Okay. Everyone else went with no as well. The U.S. Championship is on the line as Samoa Joe defends against Ricochet. I've gone with Samoa Joe to retain because I think they just gave it back to him. Adam went with Ricochet, mostly because he likes butt stuff. Ginger went with Samoa Joe. Sal, who you got?
I'm going with Joe to retain.
All right.
I know that doesn't sound right when you say it out loud, but no, I think he's gonna retain.
Jason.
It seems way too soon to take this belt off of Joe, but
They just did it last month. They took
that's the whole
belt off
thing.
of Joe.
He was not planned to have the title at this point. It was break glass in case of emergency situation. So I'll say Ricochet. Why the fuck not?
Okay.
Just to be different.
I did enjoy your emphasis on the word butt. The New Day take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Hey, it's not necessarily him. It could be somebody with an identical fucking tattoo to him, right, Sal?
I'm just saying
Didn't
that
you
video
guys-
looked kind of choppy.
Didn't you guys? It's totally him, dude. Because there was another video. There was another video that you can totally see his face.
Okay.
Wasn't there a dude that you guys used to complain about who had the same tattoos as Jeff Hardy?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Not me.
Right.
Or Randy Orton was it?
Oh yeah. Well, we won't mention that
Okay.
live on this show, but yeah, there was a guy who had Randy Orton's tattoo set.
So who you got in this match?
The guy who has Randy Orton's tattoos.
You talking about the New Day versus Owens and Zayn?
Yep.
The New Day, because fuck Owens and Zayn, they don't matter. They're gonna get shoved all the way down the card.
Okay. Jason already said the guy who has Randy Orton's tattoos. So me, Ginger, and Adam went with.
Yes,
Sami
I'll
Zayn.
go with Owens and Zayn. By the way, thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll change that. All right. The Cruiserweight Championship on the line as Tony Nese takes on Tozawa and Drew Gulak. Me and Ginger have gone with Tony Nese retaining. Jason, who you got?
I think it's going to go to Mike Bennett eventually, so I'm going to say Tony Nese retains for now.
They did re-sign, so
Yep.
you have to feel like eventually they're going to run out of people for him to face.
Yep.
Adam went with Drew Gulak. Sal, who you got?
I think Drew Gulak. I think he's been doing a lot of good work lately, and I can see him getting a heel run.
All right, fair enough. And last match on the list here, obviously I don't know the the actual like order these going in, but the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships on line as Daniel Bryan and Biodiesel take on the Fat Mechanics. So, Jason, who you got?
It's close to Daniel Bryan's hometown. I'm just saying, that's never a good formula for defending a title.
That's true.
But I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan.
All right, Sal.
Well, considering this match will be a pre-show match and they don't want to piss off the crowd right at the beginning of the show, I say Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan retain.
They're not faces, you realize.
It's Daniel fucking Bryan.
Fair enough. All right. So, that takes us to... It's not the way to spell championship. That takes us to what's going on in the independent area there. I'm going to maybe stall for a little more time until... There we go. What's going on, Jason?
Well, Atlantic Pro Wrestling on Saturday, August 17th, presents Super Summer Smash from the Newburyport Elks Lodge, 25 Low Street, Newbury, Mass. Doors open at 5:45, bell time at 6:30. If you get your tickets now, there are still VIP packages available, but they are selling fast. VIP packages get you into a special meet and greet with some of the guys we're going to talk about in just a minute. Reserved front row seats are $20. Reserved second row seats are $15. Advanced general admission is $12. It is $15 at the door. Individual ticket purchases do not grant you access to the meet and greet. You must purchase a VIP package to participate in that. In our main event, the APW Heavyweight Championship will be on the line as the Brawler, Brian Malonis, Ring of Honor star, friend of the show, comes to Newbury to try to reclaim his championship from Dynamite Danny Miles. The APW New England Championship will be on the line as Demon Ortiz defends that title against the man returning to APW, Vern Vicalo. Just announced this past week, the APW Women's Championship will be on the line as Angel Sinclair makes her APW debut as she challenges Vanity Vixen for the championship. Retrosexual Anthony Green takes on the masshole Mike McCarthy in a match I'm personally really looking forward to seeing. Also appearing on the show will be former NXT and WWE star Simon Grimm, and Brawler Malonis will be bringing Future of Honor stars to APW with him with the debuts of Brian Johnson, Rayo, and Dante Caballero. Those three men, as well as Simon Grimm, will all be part of our pre-show meet and greet, for which you have to buy a VIP package, so I encourage you to do so. Should be a really fun night. We are looking forward to it. For more information, go to facebook.com/Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
The company that known piece of shit Todd Sobel called the best company in a 40-mile radius, PBD's top independent wrestling company, The Proving Ground, returns to the Peabody Knights of Columbus on Saturday, August 31st for Level 5. The aforementioned Ring of Honor superstar Brawler Brian Malonis faces off with the so-called King of the Monsters, Kevin Giles. The Proving Ground Championship will be on the line when current champion, the Ace, Mike Montero, steps into the ring with longtime rival, the PGOG, Derek Conway. King Leon VI and Corin Mink will get married live in the ring. All that and much more, except known piece of shit Todd Sobel, because he ain't fucking booked, on August 31st.
Sorry, I was looking at our Twitter. Not our Twitter, but the one that you added on there. Oh, that does it for the rundown for this Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Please rate us.
Hold on. Can I just catch up? Because I'm an asshole and I missed a lot of stuff on the side here. Just to get this. John, Stomping Grounds is an uninspired and on basically every level. No IC title on the line. Bailey wins, starting to set up Alexa versus Nikki. He might be wrong, but he always bets on Roman. Becky is a lock in this one. Seth wins with no cash in. Brock isn't showing up for Stomping Grounds. Has Joe winning, and then says, who cares? I mean, KO and Sammy. Sammy has eaten something like 45 pins a month and needs a win. Says Gulak's going to win and not Heavy Machinery. So there's John's picks.
All right. Sounds good. That does it for the rundown for this Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Please rate us 5 stars and review, and we will read your reviews on air. You can follow us on Twitter at Rundown Network. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling. You can email the show your dick pics via rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Go to instagram.com/rundownwrestling. Or go to youtube.com/rundownwrestling to hear all of our past videos, as well as watch us live every Thursday around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can leave us a voicemail at 617-863-6967. That's 61 Rundown 7. We're now on Patreon. Sal is coming. Head over to patreon.com/rundownwrestling to become a patron. All patrons will receive early access to shows on the Rundown feed, as well as some swag and original content. You can go there right now to patreon.com and listen to Blue Fist Episode 2, featuring me and the host of Making the Grade and the Nitromania podcast, Adam, as we discuss 1999's SmackDown. You can listen to that now instead of having to wait a couple of days. Check out our website, rundownwrestling.com, for information on all of our other great shows, such as the Nitromania podcast, Hurry Up and Cruiserweight, Making a Grade, NXT Revisited, SWAT Magic, and WrestleMania Salvation. You can listen to our friends, the Brawler, Brian Malonis, and Mike Crockett on the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing, with new podcasts every Monday. Go to facebook.com/thewpn or thewpn.com. You can check out our friend Justin Michaels on his show Yesterland Waltz. Go to yesterlandwaltz.com or watch it on your Roku through the RNTV app or the 24/7 Retro app. You can follow our hosts on Twitter at JStewart0920, at Rockstar Troy, at Going Out of Business Sal, at The Seltzer Effect, at Realist Tommy, at Johnny Analog, at Ginger19876, at Hurry Up Cruiser, and at Little Sex Buddha, which is, she's like, I completely blacked on her name. Rain something, right? Something right?
Megan Rain.
Megan Rain, that's what it was, yep. Thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks to Sal.
Thank you, Troy.
Thanks to Jason.
Thanks. Good to be back for a week at least.
There you go. And fuck Todd Sobel. Next week, we continue to pledge ourselves to pictures of beautiful men. Please.
So I guess that means we will see ya next Thursday.
See your ass next time.
Bye-bye. Can somebody please draft Bulbul?
Right?
Apparently nobody wants to.
That's why I was saying, like, maybe there is something to it, because that just seems crazy at this point.
Probably had like awful pre-draft workouts, and they're probably like, "Fuck this."
Even
I don't know if he
so,
worked
man,
out because he had the foot thing.
Well, maybe.
So, like, at this point, you have a non-guaranteed contract at the second round. Just fucking take him. The guy's got size. You could even stash him, you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
I don't know.
Especially because you could take it, like, some of the other power, like, Bruno Fernando, I don't feel like is probably going to be playing in America. Like, Philly taking him.
Well, he's not a foreigner. He was in Maryland.
Yeah, I just
College kid.
Yeah, he's just not going to play because he's fucking sucks.
Oh.
Well, like Divitas Servidis from Lithuania is definitely not going to be playing in America this coming season for Dallas.
Yeah, no, but he'll be there for the future. That's something Dallas always does, draft.
Because they love their friggin' European players. Hey, you were ripping on the number 30th pick of the first round, and the Bucks took Kevin Porter Jr. So
No.
No, Cleveland took Cleveland.
Detroit.
Cleveland.
Damn it.
It's Cleveland's pick.
Fucking update.
Pick. They traded that pick to Detroit to get John Lauer and to dump off.
It's Cleveland's pick.
How's it Cleveland's pick? How'd they get it?
It's Cleveland's pick.
Okay, you keep saying that, but you're not telling me how they got it.
I don't remember what the machinations were for how they got it, but it's Cleveland's pick.
Okay. Hold on. Let me look it up. 2019 NBA draft. Come on, fucker. Where is it? Alright, come on. Where are the actual picks? Jesus fucking Christ. Give me early entrance and all that shit. Draft lottery. Draft day trades. Is this just not updating? What the fuck?
Cavaliers make a deal with the Pistons to target Porter.
Okay,
Caps.
see, that's what it was. They traded it to the Pistons, who then...
Cavaliers are
traded it to
trading
Cavaliers.
for number 30th pick, and for... Okay, yeah.
Okay, see, that makes sense. I wasn't aware of that. I was only aware of the deal that sent it to the Pistons.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But yeah, it's not the Bucks. The Bucks don't have a pick in this draft. That's why I made the joke of you can't draft a bust if you don't draft anybody.
Yeah.
Because they literally have no fucking picks. They got rid of their second round pick too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
my Massachusetts compatriot, whatever the fuck Morrow says. Why am I going out of business, Sal? What am I, Rite Aid?
Rite Aid is still in business.
Yeah,
Oh, not
they're
around
still-
here. They shut down like 5 of them.
No, it's
Apparently
right down the
Walgreens
street.
bought them out.
Walgreens bought the pharmacy portion.
No, I know, but they legit closed like 5 of them in my area. They had like the fire sale.
Well, a couple weeks ago, you were come Sal away with me, so I'm.
Speaking of going out of business, I have a bad feeling Papa Gino's is headed there because I keep getting coupons for 40 and 50% off like daily.
Well, they've already closed a bunch of their stores.
Well, that'll do it for the YouTube stream because these guys don't care about that. So thanks again for John and Smathers.
I was the
and
one
everyone
reading the
else.
fucking books on the side.
No, they saying they don't care about Papa Gino's.
They don't
Oh.
care about whatever fucking Boston shit he's talking about over there.
I don't care about the Bucks draft either. You never shit about talking about that, or lack thereof, I guess.
What is this?
No dick.
Anid Amin. Is that?
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. So
Yeah, because he's not dead. So I'm very. Is that just something that people do? They come around and try to give you fake news, or what?
I don't know.
Like,
apparently we've reached a point where we're important enough that people give us fake news on our feed, though.
yeah.
So, why did they trade Baines?
Thanks, Idia.
To free up cap space.
Uh,